necessary you
But
have
when it
to.
comes to the PHP, though there isn't nothing, there's nothing. I've not gone deep into using to do some more serious coding, like doing maybe something, but just little mere coding, and it was able to come up on the browser.
Okay, that's fair to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so um, today will actually be a very interesting class. I don't know if everybody can see my screen. Yeah. So today we actually have to practice because we're not getting to the programming aspect of this our journey. So in our last class, we learned the fundamental of PHP. We worked on data types. We also worked on control flow, conditional statements, loops, and what have you. And remember, we said PHP is a server-side programming language, and most importantly, the job of a PHP script is to capture entry from a front end, analyze what that entry is, which we call validating, handle the form, and then submit it to the database. If it is a query to the database, maybe we want to create, we want to read, we want to insert, we want to update, we want to delete, drop, truncate, depending on what the logic is. Backend is just there to analyze and go through the entire process. So in today's class, we'll be talking about that tool that we use in PHP to capture entries from the front end, to undo entries from the front end. Can you guys hear me? Let's just,
Yes, we can hear you.
yeah. Hope I'm loud and clear. Okay, we'll be talking about PHP Superglobals. You're always available to kids. Now, this will be a deep dive into PHP built-in Superglobals variables, which means they are variables that are available for you and they can be accessed anywhere within your code, whether in a function or in a class or what have you. So the essential tool every PHP developer needs to handle user input, which means the super globals are what we use to capture, to determine how what a user comes in, how is it being captured, and how are they handled, and how your server will also work with it, because it's used to handle user input, handle server data, handle sections, and also many other things. And I believe for every one of us, we've seen what a section is, and we'll get into it today. If I may ask a question, I would like to get a response here. I believe all of us have used this fintech or even any banking app, and you notice something. The very minute you log in, there's a session created for you that keep your information while using the application. But the very minute you snub off a minute, or you didn't use the app for like 15 seconds, it will write it there, section timeout. How many of us have used an application that give us such a thing? If you have, just drop an emoji. Just drop an emoji if you have done that. Okay. So it means you guys have used it before. So how we handle that is through sections and cookies. All of these will be explained in this training today. So let's move ahead. What are superglobals? When the word superglobal comes in PHP, what does it mean? It simply means always available, regardless of the scope of your program. So superglobals are special built-in PHP variables. Give me a minute, guys. I want to check on something. Okay, thank you. So superglobals are special built-in PHP variables that are accessible from any scope in your script. For those of you who are coming from the background of JavaScript, I believe you should understand the difference between a local scope and a global scope. So superglobal are special built-in PHP variables that are accessible from any scope in your script. So when we talk about scopes like function scopes, so it can be used inside a function, it can be used inside a class as an OOP or global code without needing the use of the global keyword. Without needing the global keyword. Why they matter? So what are the necessary use of a super global variables? They are the primary mechanism for receiving external data in PHP. Remember, the job of a backend engineer is to work on the server, and information comes from the front end, whether a request, a create, regardless of what is coming in. So these super global variables are the tools a backend engineer uses to receive information, receive data from the front end. Whether a user submits a form, navigates to a URL, logs into a section, that's the login into a section, or upload a file. Super globals are how your script captures and processes that interactions. So when you're using your super global variables, no global keyword required, available in every scope and context, essential for web application development, provided by the PHP runtime automatically. So which means it is a tool a backend engineer should use. So what are the core global variables? The core super globals, the ones we use for entering values and the server data. So PHP provide 9 super globals, although they are 9 in number, but the ones we are going to be focusing on are these 6. We already know about one, which is called the dollar global. It also is a super global variable, but for PHP the major one I'll be talking about is the 6. So says the PHP provide 9 super globals, each designed for a specific category of data, meaning each of them has a way they handle data, different type of data. Together they form a complete toolkit for managing every layer of web communication, how the front end interact with the back end are being managed. Now let's talk